What is good, y'all? What is good? It is your boy, ThaniaBear, aka Natty, aka that nigga. And we're back at it again with another stream for y'all niggas. I've been away for a while. Some time. I bet y'all be like, hey, Natty, what are you up to? What have you been up to? I really wanted to stream over the weekend. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. But the Brody was moving back into town. Shout out to the boy Bogus the Kid. If you don't know Bogus the Kid, go follow him in all places you listen to music and or things. Just really happy and excited to finally have him nearby. Dude's lived in Hillsborough, which, although not particularly far enough for a nigga to not want to visit often. But man, I mean, now he's freaking in Crowley, not that far away, and I got to see my nieces and nephews, which is also another exciting thing for me. So I just got to help him and the family move back. Kind of threw off my sleeping schedule though, not gonna lie. Granted, my sleeping schedule was low-key fucked for the past 2 weeks. But we're gonna try and fix that. In the meantime though, today's stream is gonna be pretty straightforward and simple actually. We're just gonna focus on reacting to some videos, YouTube videos. I just got a couple here lined up, nothing particularly crazy. Some things I thought that were interesting. And let's see. Yo, what's good? American Josh. Hope you're doing well. Which, by the way, y'all should go follow him. Nevertheless, yeah, man, I am just... The goal for this stream is, like I said, we're going to react to some YouTube videos, nothing too crazy. And after reacting to some YouTube videos, we're actually going to be working on some sync licensing projects, which for those of you wondering, what is sync licensing? Sync licensing is essentially the side of the industry that isn't as popularly known, and it deals with TV, film, video games, pretty much any form of music being associated with a form of media. You can consider that a sync. Hey, I appreciate you, Josh. Man, hold up. Follow me right now. Hold up, guys, real quick. I gotta make sure I follow American Josh dude back, because super cool guy, super awesome musician. And I'm very excited for your up-and-coming releases, and also an avid JRPG fan, which for all of you who are JRPG fans, you immediately become a close friend of mine, because it is a genre that is very near and dear to my heart. Hold up, let me make sure I follow you right back, Josh. The Emerson South. Boom. Followed you back, brother. For Shorsky, just followed you right back. Cool ass dude, man. Couldn't be more grateful for him. Check his music out. Emerson South, Emerson South. Very fun stuff. Bit avant-garde, but I enjoy it. It's cool shit, and it's funky too. Very funky. For real, we're all brothers in childhood loneliness. Couldn't be more true, low-key. To be fair though, my brother did kind of godfather me in through Final Fantasy IV, but it's still the same, bro. It's just something to be said about the JRPG adventure. But like I said, we're gonna be working on sync licensing after we get done reacting to some YouTube videos. And once again, it's a very chill stream, which most of these streams are, to be honest with you. There's nothing crazy. Now, future me, if this is on YouTube for whatever reason, those of you watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And if you know about hyping a video, that helps me out a lot. So please give me one of your 3 hypes for the week, and I will love you eternally. All that stuff said though, now let's get into the reactions. Let's get into some stuff. Woo. Which right now we're listening to the instrumental from my up-and-coming single, Hand Over My Heart. When is it coming out? Whenever it's finished. But currently right now, we at least have the instrumental, so that's cute. But right now we're gonna pause that. All right, so let's see. We can do gaming stuff, or honestly, let's start with some music advice. How about that? We're gonna do that. We're gonna start with what Post Malone has to say.
More than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies.
All right.
Like how I'm more than just...
Oh, of course. Let's refresh the link, because good Lord have mercy.
We have got to the point where literally anybody
gotta love the ads. We love the ads here.
Knowing how to code. This is Base 44.
Shout out to Base 44 though. It's actually a pretty solid
AI app builder.
dude.
You wouldn't believe the kind of apps that
I'm
people
about
are
to say you're
creating.
not gonna make me go through this whole entire ad. I bet you better not. All right. Cool.
A lot of it, like growing up, was
All right, real quick. This is Post Malone's advice for young musicians starting out from the Theo Von podcast, which I love Theo Von as a comedian, although he can be pretty problematic in terms of who he aligns himself with politically. But outside of that, let's get into it.
in my early teens and everything was Thug and like Rocky and George Strait, Hank Sr., Allen, Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax. Just everything.
Gotta love
And
Anthrax.
even a little dubstep.
Yeah.
I don't listen to dubstep now, but I did. Like a little Flux Pavilion just to pepper it.
Wow, bro.
But dude, there's so much fucking cool shit going on at any, and that's the problem too. Like I remember like SoundCloud just first started. And I was maybe one of the first artists to really like blow up strictly on SoundCloud.
Really? I didn't even know that.
SoundCloud, I think it was like 2013. SoundCloud was going, and I think I can't remember anything. I have such a Dory brain, but yeah, and it's so hard now. I feel like for new artists to, because of the volume of music that's getting put out, which is a fucking amazing thing. Oh, 2007, I was way off.
But that's when it's
I will say though, 2013 is kind of when SoundCloud, I guess, came into a bit more of not even 2013, maybe even 2010. Because if we're being honest, like 2010 is when more of electronic music and all that kind of stuff was really like peppering. Well, not even just electronic music, really just any music, but especially like electronic music and kind of newer music. And kind of was starting to pepper and bubble up, and then it was kind of like a slow build towards the great year of 2016. Like 2016 is one of those years that's just, it's got to be studied. There has to be some level of a documentary for freaking 2016, really 2015, 2016, and 2017. Like those 3 years in tandem with each other. I mean, some of the greatest years, and just, I guess that's kind of when technology was at a point to where it was sort of enjoyable to everyone, even though it was still kind of like there wasn't enough known about kind of what it was doing to us to where like we could really say most things quantitatively, but we all just knew that like, oh no, this thing is kind of cool and it's going to kind of be around for a while sort of thing. Yeah, interesting times, especially SoundCloud. I mean, which, not to say that SoundCloud isn't doing that now, but I will say kind of what SoundCloud was in that time is sort of what sort of YouTube Shorts and TikTok is or is going to not be soon with the new legal stuff around TikTok. And kind of even, what's this, Audio Mac. So, you know, there's some, not to say that SoundCloud isn't a strong holder in kind of what it is, but there is something to be said about in the early stages of the internet and just before Web 3.0 and all these other crazier technological advances, it was definitely a platform that created a lot of depth for listeners, especially for the ones that really just wanted to find just different stuff that was fun and interesting. So, yeah, no, very, very, very cool thing. Very cool thing indeed.
it started.
It was really popping.
right.
Really
Things that start,
Yes,
that means
sir.
they open their doors.
Yes, sir.
Probably took 5 years to get going.
Type in when did SoundCloud really start popping?
2017.
Like in 2017. Look at that. Chance the Rapper, Post Malone, Odd Future.
Oh, you're on that list.
Yeah, see, I'm on the list out of 3.
There you go.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's super cool, man.
But yeah, it's hard now, like to get discovered, especially. Well, it's either easier or real hard because you can do something that really just tricks the algorithm and saying like people get like viral, super viral moments. But songs don't have to be viral to be awesome. And we miss
True.
out, I feel
I
like,
agree.
on so many like artists that never so many talented people that
That never trick the
that
algorithm?
never get the algorithm going for them, but they're fucking killer. And that's like the hard part is the volume of stuff. And I'm a big advocate. Like the first recording software I got, I think making music should be as cheap as it possibly can.
Yeah.
And you can get your ideas out. Like I used a free recording software. I had a $200 guitar. I had a $100 mic, and I would sit in my room and fucking make these songs. I love that concept, but it's hard now because like I said, it's so fast, and songs are viral for a couple days, and then like you don't hear much after that. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
like,
Or a trend comes through and takes
but
it.
that's what people are like, let's make something that goes viral. I want people to fucking express themselves the way that it is. And if you work super fucking hard and you go, like, I'm the luckiest dude in the world. I went viral. Like that White Iverson went viral.
It really did. It
was
really
because,
did, yeah.
like, Fat Man Key, and he's fucking amazing.
But you also
things
feel
that
like you
they
were
do.
sharing yourself honestly.
Yes, sir, absolutely. And that's like, and I think there's so many artists out there that I want to do something in the future where, like Audacity, that free recording program,
Oh,
is
yeah,
the most
dude.
amazing thing of all. It's free.
It is.
It's free.
That's the only editor I know how to use,
It's
dude.
amazing.
If our
dude.
shit's bonk in the middle of that, I'll be up on Audacity.
It's
fucking
amazing,
figuring
and
it
it's
out.
free, and it has been free.
Thank you, Audacity. I didn't even.
Dude, fuck yeah,
Thank you, Audacity.
Isn't that fucking?
It really was
sick?
cool. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I never even thought to thank them because, yeah, I'd be up in the middle of the night, a podcast episode, something be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we got to fix it. Boom, I'll use Audacity, you know? Yeah, I think.
Truly, Audacity is impressive. Now, granted, I never used it because I would just torrent things, which one could argue that's worse. But I also wanted to be like the producers and engineers that I looked up to, and they all use like Ableton and FL, so that's just what I would torrent until these days I'm able to be capable enough to at least find the money to get these softwares. But yeah, man, I feel that.
You know, I think trying to be real to yourself. What makes you fucking feel? What makes you hurt? Or what makes you want? What makes you angry? Or what makes you, you know, what makes you uncertain? You know, like, if you can find a feeling and attach your art to it, I think I don't believe that we can't see authenticity
Yes, sir.
when we see it.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe that. I know there's hooks and you can get hooked, you know, you can get hooked on the hooks, you know, but I feel like authenticity you can never lose by just trying, you know.
You're not making it just to make it. You're making it because you love it.
Right. Well, that's one thing Bernie Sanders said. I said, well, what would you say to a young politician who wants to be, you know, someone young who wants to affect culture the same way you did in the 70s when you decided to become a politician? He said,
Me?
No, not you. Yeah.
Oh, that explains the Elvis question.
You're talking about
That's crazy.
You're talking about Ghost Malone, dude. But no. He said, I said, Bernie, what if you had to say to something to a young person who was the same as you in 1970 or 1968, who wanted to affect change, right?
Yes,
Who
sir.
really wanted to have a, you know, who believed that I'm a human that can have an effect on the world, right? He said, do it because of what your purpose is, not because you want to get elected. Like, you don't have to get elected anymore to serve your purpose.
That is true.
You
That
can
is
serve
very
your
true.
purpose because of social media and because of the internet these days, just be as much as if you got elected.
If you were elected.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So, and I that was pretty interesting to me. It was like, yeah, find the new road, you know? Like, just like even with SoundCloud, it's like, if you couldn't get a deal, if there wasn't a deal, somebody
Right.
handing you a deal, that's like, find the new road.
Find the SoundCloud, go independent, and it's such a cool thing to see, like, independent artists and fucking them doing all the shit by themselves, like
Yeah.
printing the records, putting it up on DSPs, you know, all this stuff. It's so cool. That's why, like, I think I was saying too, I want to give, like, down the road whenever, you know, there's more time and I'm not so selfish and self-focused. Well, and I got my family too, so I'm working hard for that.
No, but it's okay. I feel you, man. It's like,
Give some
you get going on your own dream and your own dream takes off. And then it's like, how quick do you feel like I need to start to turn around and figure out help?
And when can you help others? And that's like the most important thing for me is either you do it with music, help people, you know, through hard times or help them get through a tough week or whatever. But I want to make it bigger and help, you know, artists really get a fucking spot and showcase talent, because there's so much that doesn't get, you know, like, it's cool.
What were some of the music you grew up listening to in Texas, man?
Fuck. I remember my dad had the big ass iPod that was like 100 or 360 gigs. You remember the big blocks? And I would steal it. I was like, hey, can I use your iPod tonight? And it was everything. It was like Megadeth, fucking the Blueprint, the Garth Brooks. My mom's side, my mom.
hole.
Yeah,
Feelings
dude,
I'm
fucking
having.
hours and Lane
that
Staley
Alice in
is a
Chains?
killer. Yeah,
Yeah, so
killer, dude.
I'd like to fly. Like,
What is that one?
I think it's the same song. But my wings have been so denied.
I like that.
Okay, sorry. I think that could be also from the Muppets. Okay.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
It's
I think,
almost
yeah.
unrecognizable.
Love that. Honestly, great advice though. I mean, at the end of the day, create how you want to create. That's why I'm even doing Switch. Like, I don't want to talk. Well, actually, that's a lie. I like talking. I like yapping, just to just say things and to make noises. But, you know, as an artist, it's like I always thought I had to be a certain way or do a certain thing and look a certain way. Like, you know, have a jawline or some shit like that, right? Like, be presentable. I hate being presentable, by the way. I fucking hate that. Anyway, I realized I could just make the thing, you know? I could just do the damn thing just because I love it. And because I'm doing it because I love it, now it's like if I want to monetize it, I can. And like, I've been around enough business-minded people and studied enough business-minded people to where it's like, right now it's the easiest it'll ever be. And I definitely see like the walls caving in and the opportunity closing. And should the opportunity close, I mean, hey, college is always there. Getting a job is always there. You know, all that kind of stuff is always going to be there. You know, the system, if you will. Unless the system crumbles, in which case I'm down for what's after that. Like, I really could care less. But in the meantime, I'm going to share what I think is awesome, which is art, making art. And then pretty soon, my goal is I can get this stuff done so that in October I can really start just, you know, doing the damn thing. But I mean, just educating, sharing people what I know, which I don't know a lot, but what I do know I think is worth sharing on social media and the internet at large. And, you know, as time permits and as things kind of grow and become what they are, I'm very excited to just, I don't know, do more, just show that I'm capable of doing more. And as an artist, I just don't want to use the excuse of like, oh, I don't want to do this. Granted, there are things I don't want to do, but I do want to do what's required. And what's required can be a bit arbitrary, but for the little bit that I do know, showing up on social media and having a clear vision and strategy behind what you're trying to do and how you're trying to do it, that I can definitely control and manage, which I am, and which we are, by the way. That's how we get to meet awesome dudes like freaking American Josh dude, aka Emerson South. So wouldn't have met him in any other way, to be honest with you. So we continue. All right, let's go from this to gaming. So there's a Pal World thing that just got announced, so we can check that out here real quick.
Hi everyone. Today I'd like to talk a bit about the future of Pal World and Pocket Pair. But first, I want to extend a big thank you to you all. Thank you so much for your kindness and support over the last 20 months. It truly means the world to us and motivates us to work even harder to make better and better games for you. Now, let's talk a bit about Pal World. Things are going to be a little different from here on out, and we want to take this chance to explain why. But don't worry, it's not bad news. Since Pal World's release, we've shipped 5 major updates, each adding new mechanics and improving the game in various ways. Version 0.2 introduced raids, a feature many fans have enjoyed and one we've continued to expand. Version 0.3 brought the first new island, Sakurajima, along with many new pals and quality of life features. Version 0.4 shook things up with Fabre, a large new landmass, new faction, new pals, and many new mechanics. Version 0.5 brought crossplay to Pal World, allowing players on any system to finally play together.
True,
And
which is
finally,
pretty dope.
version 0.6, Tides of Terraria, was the long-anticipated Terraria collab, accompanied by many more quality of life improvements and new features. Now, we've reached a crossroads and need to decide what comes next. While we have a lot of ideas for where we want to take Palworld, we also need to start thinking about Palworld 1.0. Beyond just adding new content, there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done before Palworld can exit early access. It's no secret that Palworld has a lot of quirks and jank, and we want to take the time to properly address those before releasing the game. With that in mind, we plan to start that cleanup this year. Our goal is to ultimately release Palworld next year in 2026, and we think taking the time now to fix those problems will ultimately lead to a better game. So, what is the...
I just realized these niggas haven't even had version 1.0 out. And that, as someone who's trying to get into game development, that's interesting because this game, I play this game. We have a couple of videos and a couple hours logged into this game. It's not even at 1.0 yet. So in all intents and purposes, it is early access, and they've done so much with it already. I mean, my honest opinion, I enjoy it quite thoroughly. I just haven't had the luxury to play it because, well, I'm trying to figure out how to monetize this thing, you know what I mean? But, wow. That's crazy, yo. It really is. That's quite crazy. Anyway, it's just the thought dawned on me, like, wait a minute, this dude's not saying 1.1, 1.2, he's saying point. Anyway, it's pretty interesting, pretty
What does
interesting.
this mean? It means that
I'm also curious how that works. Like, how does that actually work? You know what I mean? Like, because right now I'm playing Hades 2, and that's early access. But, like, because you would still pay to play the early access, and it's comparable enough of a game that you can run it and play it. Yeah, that's just so nuanced to me. I don't know. Anyway,
things will be a little quiet from us for the rest of this year. It also means our winter update won't be as big as Fabric was. We hope our players understand that we're taking this extra time to improve the game overall. Now, that said, it doesn't mean there will be no updates. We still do have a few surprises planned for our winter update this year. We just want to be transparent about where we're headed and the development of Palworld going forward. Development of Palworld is not slowing down or scaling back, quite the opposite. Palworld 1.0 will be a major milestone for us, and we have a truly massive amount of content planned for the 1.0 update. Rather than rushing it, we believe that laying the right foundation now will lead to a better game in the end. We're really excited about this, and we hope our fans will be really excited about this too. We plan to share some sneak peeks about Palworld 1.0 in the very near future. Quick note on Pocket Pair's future. Many of you may already know this, but in January of this year, we launched Pocket Pair Publishing. Pocket Pair Publishing was born out of the desire to give back to the industry and help fun games get made. Thanks to Palworld's success, we're in a very lucky position and are able to help other developers and take risks. We want to use our success to help support others. Pocket Pair Publishing won't be developing games, but rather we'll be helping other developers with things like funding, marketing, distribution, or just offering them some advice. We're already working with a number of developers and teams from around the world, and we hope you look forward to the games that these teams are working on. Pocket Pair is also working on some other things. We don't have much we can talk about or share at the moment, but as the company grows, we continue to experiment with other ideas for games. Of course, right now, most of the company's focus is on Palworld, but we want to stay true to our roots, which is why we've got several smaller teams tinkering away at ideas that hopefully will turn into fun games for you all to play. We'll have more to share about this in the near future as well. Once again, thank you all for your continued support of Palworld and Pocket Pair. We will continue to try our best and communicate more openly with you, our fans, about what is going on. We love making games, and nothing makes us happier than when you, our fans, enjoy the games that we create. On behalf of everyone here at Pocket Pair, thank you very, very much.
Okay, that was cool. Learned something new. One, freaking Palworld isn't even technically out yet, which is kind of wild. But also, two, got some exciting news on the way, so that's gonna be dope. All right, now we're gonna watch this video about how
When too
normal
much work
people are
bogs you
blowing
down.
up on YouTube in 2025.
These are normal people.
Which I would consider myself a pretty average. Well, I'm not average. I'm below average and above average in most. Actually, just by that metric alone, I am average. Huh? Never mind. I'm quite average. So this actually might be very important for us to
People who
listen
went from
to.
nothing to 10 to 50 plus $1,000 per month inside a year or two, doing something that anybody could do. Honestly, it seems like YouTube is kind of broken right now if you just copy this method and follow these steps. To start off, YouTube has made a change in the past year or two that seems very different. It's gone from the style of super edited retention editing to something that is very real and raw, but also has lowered the barrier to entry, where you can come in and have success almost right away without knowing how to edit, without knowing a ton of skills, just by kind of copying what is clearly working right now. Generally, there's a couple strategies when you're starting. I think the step one with this is finding out what you want to talk about, even though it's okay to take some time discovering that and just going through it. Usually when people talk about making money on YouTube, they're talking about courses or affiliate deals or things like that, which are all great. I do all of those things. I have a cohort that I ran and helped 250 plus people grow on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that, but this strategy is so much easier. And so I just want to show you some examples and how you can do the same thing. I want to start
Okay,
with somebody
let's see what
named
you gotta
Connor
say.
Woodman. You might have seen a video of his go kind of viral recently. It's called You've Consumed Enough, God Wants You to Create. If you haven't checked it out, it's really good. And you can see he doesn't actually have that many videos that have a lot of views. They haven't gone super viral. If you watch his videos, it is something that you could easily do. He is standing in front of a camera in the woods, probably wearing his work clothes, almost no edits, no B-roll, no music, nothing. He's talking to the camera. I think you can do that. He's not even cutting out the pauses or things like that. But if we look at his channel, he is doing some things that a bunch of other people are doing, and I pretty much know how much money he's making from doing this. So first of all, he's posting every single day. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 9 day. Okay, not every day, but most days. And I'm also gonna break down some strategies of how to do this without it taking over your life. But he's just posting an insane amount of stuff, and a lot of them aren't going viral. This one's got 309 views, 460 views, 3,000 views. That's great. And then he's got that 200,000 view one, and then nothing. And this is all coming back from being off YouTube for 3 months. He came back recently. And now, over the past 30 days, he's made about $9,000. This is just based off a rough estimate if he's making like a $10 CPM.
Nigga. We're doing this wrong, man. We're doing this so wrong, nigga. What? We're doing this so wrong. We're doing this so wrong. Anyway, okay, let's keep on listening. Let's keep on listening.
Could be a little bit less, but I'm just gonna guess how much these people are making based on like a $10 one. On about 1 million views, he might be making about $9,000, anywhere from 7 to 9, somewhere in there, for making these videos every single day. I want to show you a couple other examples. This guy's name is Noah. He's posting these shorter videos, but they are again every single day, 3-minute videos, and some of them go viral, some of them don't. But in the past 30 days, at 92,000 subscribers, he has about 3 million views. So I don't know how much like 3-minute videos pay, but I'm guessing that's anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000 a month in ad revenue. A little bit more proof. This right here is Estelle. She's posting pretty much daily as well, sometimes 3 times a week. And in the past 30 days, she's got about 1.4 million views. So I'm guessing that's around from $8,000 to $10,000, something like that. And so before I get to some of the more crazy examples that are definitely making 50K a month plus, I want to break down what these kind of smaller creators are doing. So let's look at Connor real quick. He's obviously batch making these. He's going in the woods and he's talking to a camera and doing a bunch at the same time. Like, it's quite possible that all these videos were shot at the same time, and yes, some of them didn't work, but some of them do. And generally there's this rule with YouTube where you're gonna have about 1 out of 10 go really well, you're gonna have about 4 do average, and 5 are gonna kind of underperform. That's just generally a rule. Sometimes it comes in spurts. If you get like a bunch do good at once, sometimes it doesn't, but that's just kind of the general rule. And you see like he had a bunch do really bad here, and then when this one did well, whatever he posted next was gonna do well, and then it kind of died down, and then he happened to have another one do well again, and then it's kind of like gone up and down since then. But he has posted 224 videos. And for most people, when they start YouTube, it takes them forever to post 224 videos. It could take, you know, if you're doing 1 video a week, that could be 4 years worth of content. And he's been doing this for about a year. And his videos didn't start doing great. They were obviously kind of a similar thing where he's just trying different things, experimenting. New beef day, Friday, sea swim. Who's gonna watch that? But eventually, because he got so many reps in so quickly, he was able to find what worked for him. And that's the first step here. It's just to put in a bunch of reps so that you can find what you want to talk about. You can find your niche. As opposed to some people who might have their niche figured out right at the get-go, and that is a different strategy to do this, which is totally fine. You might have to find your niche, and you find your niche by experimenting. You talk about all the things that you're interested in, and then eventually one of them is going to stick. And he found what stuck. How to listen to God's voice clearly. You've consumed enough, God wants you to create. And God can make up for lost time. Don't worry. And it's a similar thing to what Estelle ended up finding, where if we look back to 9 months ago when she started, 9 months, 175,000 subscribers, she was trying something. She had these thumbnails, which are just, I think they're pretty bad, but she was posting and
Okay, not gonna lie. Estelle Bad Girl with a U? Estelle. Estelle. Ma'am. You're supposed to be a lady of God. Come on now. What's wrong with you? Anyway.
posting, and none of these were having great success, and she was experimenting with different things, and eventually her thumbnails, you can see less and less stuff show up on the thumbnails. And if we look to her latest ones that are doing a lot better, it's literally just a screenshot of her. And that's the, I guess, next point here, is that you don't have to be great at anything in order to go with this strategy. You don't have to know how to make a thumbnail. These are all screenshots. Sometimes they're a picture. You don't have to know how to edit. This right here is one continuous shot with her walking with probably this DJI camera right here, which has a little gimbal. It also has the same little microphone that she had.
Hold up. The Brody done texted me. Sorry, it's a relatively important text message. Okay, cool. Nothing too crazy, though. Nothing too crazy.
Is a couple $100. It self-stabilizes. You got a cool mic. It's great. Or you can put a mic like that on your iPhone and get a gimbal for your iPhone or a little tripod for your iPhone. And you can see this is all unedited. She's just walking in the snow, talking about things that she's interested in. She's not looking at notes unless she has something on her phone. There's a little bit of cutting, but not really. She's just going out and talking about how New Age is a scam. It's just topics that her audience are interested in. And while none of it's amazing, YouTube is shifting. This is kind of like where the algorithm shifts come in, to being like hyper edited, to being this slow conversational style of YouTube, where a lot of people, they just want a friend. They just want somebody to talk to listen to, and then eventually even to get their information from. So this is somebody, Michael right here, and this would be kind of like one of those higher paying ones, even though he only has 288,000 subscribers. You won't believe how much money he's making. This is all alleged, by the way. But 5 years ago, he was experimenting, trying with different style stuff, just making a bunch of videos on random things. You can see these thumbnails are absolutely horrible, which is why those screenshots of real people are way better than these thumbnails. These had zero chance of success. They're just really bad. I'm not hating on him. Go back and look at my old thumbnails. They're trash. But if we look at what he's doing now, he's doing the same thing as those other people. He's going for a walk with what looks like an iPhone on a gimbal, if I'm seeing in his glasses correctly, and he's just talking for 16 minutes about how Social Security is about to change in a big way without notes. He's just talking about something. So this would be finding your area of expertise, whether it's YouTube, whether it's psychology, whether it's the Bible, whether it's real estate, just talking about it for 16 minutes every day when you're out for a walk. A little mic on your shirt and a tank top, no edits. And this is something that he's been hammering at. After experimenting in the beginning, like we saw, where he didn't know what his niche was at the beginning, he's doing hurricane ripple in Miami Beach, okay? 5 moving mistakes, extra money with things you already own, just trying random stuff. He found out that raw real estate was his thing. And if any of these people are watching this and I'm correct on my numbers, let me know. But especially in the finance niche, I'm guessing he's making at least $10 per 1,000 views. So with 5.4 million views, my guess would be he's making about $50,000 a month just from AdSense, not including any affiliates, any sponsorships, any products he might have.
That's still kind of wild, though.
Now he just got my gear, so could be higher than that. I know people who make more than that in the finance niche. I know people who make less than that, but anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 a month in AdSense, I would almost guarantee that. And all he is doing is walking and talking about interesting things to people, trending topics for exactly his target audience, which is real estate, and he just kept doing it for a really long time. He's got 1,200 videos. It could take people like 10 years to make that many videos, but he's just circumventing the process and just making to get better at talking at camera. You can't talk for 12 minutes on camera right now. Make 1,000 videos and I bet you can talk for 12 minutes on camera, something that I struggle with.
I'm not gonna lie, that is arguably the most realist shit he said in this whole entire thing. Not to say that everything else wasn't real. No, for sure not. But what I can speak to and what I can tell with full confidence is, in fact, real advice. Bro, we just started streaming, what was this, consistently since December, end of last year, 2024. Now it's 2025, September. So it's about to be a year come Christmas time, end of this year. I am so not scared to talk for like 10 minutes straight. Now, granted, I don't think I'm able to talk like with a certain level of skill for 10 minutes. I can talk for 10 minutes plus, don't get it twisted, but I'm definitely more of a listener and responder and reactor as opposed to a talker. Now, that's not to say I can't talk for an elongated period of time. Your boy can definitely talk for an elongated period of time. That's not, hey, trust me, that's not a problem for me. The issue, though, is making it engaging, making it entertaining, making it, in some way, shape, or form, like, informative without repeating the same information in, like, 3 to 4 different ways to the point to where you're bored because you know exactly what I'm going to say or what I'm going to mean. That's hard. That's difficult. But in terms of, like, just talking and just being like, hey, put the camera on. What am I feeling? Okay, Kingdom Hearts 4. All right, we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. Last time we left off in Kingdom Hearts 3, our boy Sora disappeared because he used the power of waking, which we still have no clue what the power of waking is, if we're being completely freaking honest, because this Tetsuya Nomura likes dropping lore things without context, which we're okay with. We're okay with it because he always makes it worth it in the style of the gameplay. For instance, what made Kingdom Hearts 3 exciting for me, the gummy ship missions were actually lit. I wanted to be in space. I wanted to travel between worlds. I wanted to see what was going on. That's rare for me. I know you got some KH1 dudes who are like, oh no, the KH1 was the best one. I don't know if there anybody is actually saying that, but if you are, you're an idiot to me. Anyway, but going into Kingdom Hearts 4, right? We're dealing with... Here's the thing, too. Before we even get into Kingdom Hearts 4, really what Kingdom Hearts 4 is a new saga, right? Which it's called the Lost Masters saga. And to be honest with you, if you really want to have context of the Lost Masters saga, you really need to know more about Union Cross. What is Union Cross? Well, it is quite literally the beginning of the original, or not even the beginning as we learn towards the end of the freaking thing, but more so the inception of what ends up becoming the initial Keyblade War referred to in Xehanort's crusade against the light. And so if you really want to get into Kingdom Hearts 4 and digest that, you have to really be well versed in Union Cross and Union Key, which in theory, it's mentioned in Kingdom Hearts 3's ending to where, like, you see all those names as, you know, you fight that huge darkness, which, to my knowledge, all the names showed in the game were players from Union Cross, so it was kind of like a really cool meta moment in the sense of you had an opportunity as a player of the game to be part of the game you fell in love with and have been waiting for years, so really cool moment. But what that matters with in context of Kingdom Hearts 4 is now we're kind of in what was being built up and lore built into Kingdom Hearts 4 with these Lost Masters, especially with the movie from the, if you got like the new packaging of like Kingdom Hearts, I think 2.5 it was, or the remix, whatever. You also got the movie for, it's not Unchained Key, what was it? Was it Unchained? No. It was the movie that had the Lost Masters in it. To give you a little bit more context, is like, who was the one that betrayed everyone, which it seems as if it was the Pink Fox chick that betrayed everybody, or the master that betrayed, you know, everyone, because there was a traitor amongst the masters, which everyone thought was Luxu, which, come to find out, Luxu seems to be the only one that really even did what the master asked for, because if it was for Luxu, the master wouldn't have even known what the future would hold, because the master gave his eye to Luxu, which was in the Keyblade that Xehanort has, which is the one that actually found out was passed down from the Master of Masters to Luxu, which eventually found its way in the hands of Xehanort, which thus allowed him to be aware of what was going on. And keep in mind, the box that Luxu was protecting, which we still don't know what the freak it is, but it would seem as if that is very, very important to how the Master of Masters comes back. And also keep in mind, the secret ending, well, not the secret ending, but one of the main endings in Kingdom Hearts 3 was the Lost Masters finally coming back together again in front of Luxu's modern iteration, which we come to find out is Xigbar, which is why Xigbar seemed a little bit out of pocket a lot of the times in Birth by Sleep and other games. So going into Kingdom Hearts 4, we're dealing with the Lost Masters. We're dealing with these Keyblade Masters that ultimately were not aware of what their master's goal was and why he wanted to destroy the world, which, as we learn more in Kingdom Hearts Key, apparently it was dealing with the darkness and truly defeating the darkness, because the darkness at one point lost its form, and in order to destroy the darkness, he had to essentially give form to those darknesses, and he was using his students and other vessels, which is why Xehanort also tried to become vessels of the darkness in order to end up destroying the darkness for the case of light, because he believed he believed against the tyranny of light, and that it's okay to embrace darkness as long as the goal is to ultimately destroy it. Whole thing, or at least that's what I understood from his, deal anyway. So yeah, Kingdom Hearts 4 is kind of the culmination of that, and really exploring more of those themes of those conversations, especially for the people who only play the numbered titles and haven't played any of the side titles. You have no context for what any of that means. Now, end thought. For those of you who are like, what the heck did Natty just say right there? That is an example to prove this dude's point of, if there's something you're passionate about, you can talk about that for a decent amount of time. I wasn't timing that, but I would assume that was probably 5 minutes worth of talking, maybe longer, who knows? And quite frankly, who cares? Maybe you do. But besides the point. Point being, though, if you're passionate about something and you care about it, you can talk for a decent amount of time. And it would seem like these people are talking about it for extended amounts of time. How I would make it a 10-minute conversation, though, no clue. to be quite honest with you. Zero clue. But that's why throwing up those reps, throwing up those shots, doing your best to really kind of just be present, you know what I mean? Just be active, if you will. That does go a long way, and especially One Piece too. Like, that's another thing that, although I can't talk for long periods of time, I can definitely offer my opinions on it, especially given, like, you know, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, the character dynamics, how Toei continues to glaze this nigga Zoro and deglaze our boy Sanji. There's an agenda. Oh man, the agenda's rampant, so rampant against these brothers. But nevertheless, though, it's where we find ourselves. But anyway, let's continue the video.
This text is just a screenshot with yellow and black text that he's definitely making in Canva. I know, because that's what it looks like when I try to make a thumbnail. And they're just very simple, for the most part, thumbnails with 3 words on it, more or less. 3 to 5 words is generally the sweet spot, and that's just what he's doing. This is another example of someone named Azul, who was actually in one of my previous cohorts that I was teaching on how to grow on YouTube. And recently, he's been posting 3 hours ago, 21 hours ago, 1 day ago, 2 days, 2 days. So he's posting like once a day minimum. And he has gotten 6.6 million views in the last 30 days, which again is probably around 60K, but anywhere from 30 to 75K would be the range in ad revenue, with 212,000 subscribers, again 1,300 videos. And these are mostly him just talking, not really doing anything, not much editing, not much B-roll. Anybody could make this video, literally anybody could make this video. You can edit this yourself, you can hire out an editor. He's not really editing them. Again, either it is this type of thing where it's just a screenshot, or it's a couple words, just very simple. I honestly think that the screenshots are better. If we look at some of his top videos, like this is one of his top videos with 1.3 million views, but you can also like get an editor, and he knows his target audience. It is targeting people who are close to retirement and they're worried about it, they're thinking about it. He has a lot of expertise in it. He was in that field for a while, so he can just go out for a walk and talk about these subjects. And so that's gonna be your thing, is as you explore, you're trying to find that thing that you could just talk about every single day. And even like this right here, I thought about making this video maybe 2 hours ago when I saw a bunch of these channels just doing incredibly, and I was like, I should just make a video about this. Well, it's not going to be as highly polished as a lot of my other videos. This is something that works. So as you start growing, you can monetize a few different ways. You can create your own product. You can create your own community. So these people might feel like they're a lot more friends with you, so they might want to hang out with you. You can create your own community. I have a community for creators that's completely free to join. It also has some courses in there that are free as well. And that's just a place to hang out with the person that you're watching. And if you want to, you can monetize that. You can turn it into a course. You can do whatever you want to do. When you have this many videos going out, it's easy to get sponsors or affiliates. So not only will you make money in AdSense, which is going to be the main strategy for a lot of these people, but there's so many other opportunities that will come as well. And usually AdSense is the worst way to make money. So as some of these people unlock how they can, you know, kind of go to the next level, which it seems like a lot of these haven't yet, they'll be able to double or triple how much they are making once they figure out how to start getting more sponsors, how to start getting more affiliates, how to create their own product to sell. And that would take some of these, you know, larger creators to probably 6 figures a month, and some of these smaller ones to easily in the 10 to 30 range a month. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about how to create high quality videos, how to actually grow on YouTube and stuff like that, I also have a free community you can join. It's pretty dope. Talk to me, send me a message. There you go.
Cool. Honestly, pretty valuable. If anything, worthy of the subscribe. 1, 2, kind of lights the fire under my ass to be like, yo, I should probably just like make videos like every day and just minimally edit them and just post them, you know? Because why not at this point, right? Like, why not at this point? Alas. All right, let's see. Let us go to speaking like this gives you authority. Let's look at that.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards, but did you know we print everything you need to get your brand in front of your fans? We print banners and signs that help your business
on camera. So how do you build that?
It looks like I was watching this a while back. All right, well, we'll start from the top and see what happens.
There's a way of speaking on YouTube that gives you an unfair advantage over other creators because it builds...
Having an accent like that is an unfair advantage. I could care less what you think. If you speak in the English language and you sound like this nigga, whatever, you have an unfair advantage.
Way more trust and connection with your viewers. And if you learn how to speak like this, it not only makes creating content way more fun, because it's easier to make and it feels good, but it also drives more sales to your business because of that extra trust that it builds. So if you imagine this, a stranger comes up to you. They make you feel super at ease. Right? We've all had this experience. Somebody making us feel really comfortable as soon as we meet them. Was it what they said that made you feel at ease? So if somebody came up to me and said literally, hey man, I'm not here to harm you, I'm a super safe person, would you be interested in a chat because I'm really interested in talking to you? If somebody said that to me, I'd probably head to the supermarket, grab some water, grab some carbohydrate bars, because I'd be running an ultra marathon for the next 24, 48 hours in the opposite direction, right? It's not what they said.
I honestly didn't know where he was taking it. I really did. But I'm like, okay, he landed where I thought he was gonna land. He just didn't do it in the way I thought he was gonna do it. You know what I mean?
It's how they say things. I'm talking about body language, tone, vibe, their energy. This is the mistake that so many entrepreneurs make when they talk to camera and they speak on YouTube, because they focus everything, all of their energy on what they say. They tightly script everything, read it word for word, and then it actually comes across as a little bit awkward and disconnected, which does the opposite of building trust. So I want to help you out. I've already helped hundreds of business owners talk to camera more naturally, and these are 3 steps that I found that work every time in helping people really talk with authenticity that builds trust and makes making content way easier. When trying,
I think this is, honestly, wasn't really planning the order of these videos, but this in tandem with the video we just watched, kind of oddly, what's the word? It's not ironic. It's, although serendipitous or serendipity is kind of aligned or synonymous with what I'm trying to get across here, just good timing. Just say that. Just good timing. Why not?
trying to understand why you might be perceived as inauthentic or why you might feel inauthentic when you talk to camera is as simple as this. It boils down to inauthenticity is feeling one way and then presenting yourself in another way. Why does this happen to almost everyone when they talk to camera? Well, it's because they're feeling anxious, uncomfortable, and strange doing this, talking to a camera.
Understandably
and they're trying
so.
to present themselves like a typical creator, which is super positive, upbeat, and inspiring. So there's this massive disconnect between how they feel and what they're actually saying. So how do we bridge this gap? Well, there's a couple of things to do. One is bring down that presenter tone a little bit. So it's pretty rare that people feel so fired up that they're like, hey guys, how's it going? Like everyone tries to be on camera, right? So bring that down a little bit. You don't need to be like that. And the other thing is getting super comfortable on camera. So how do you build that comfort on camera? A technique that's been working really well for the members of the natural speaking system is something called releasing the recording pressure. So they get a certain amount of anxiety when setting up the camera and thinking about talking to camera. But they might sort of be calming themselves down, doing a couple of breathing exercises and feeling pretty good, being able to handle it. But when they actually press record and try and talk, they might choke up, right? So instead, what we've got to do is press record a couple of minutes early. And in this time, we're just going to be sitting there with the camera, running through a couple of lines, but with a focus on releasing that pressure. And this involves scanning your body. The reason why you scan your body with your awareness is because you'll often find certain pressure points build up. So a lot of people start feeling a tightness in their shoulders, or a pressure in their chest, or a certain feeling of anxiety that might build
For me,
in
it's
their
the
belly.
stomach.
So within these 2 minutes, whilst you're still recording, obviously you're not going to put this bit on YouTube, you're just feeling into your body whilst saying stuff.
Yo,
so you're
mama,
just warming up. Maybe you run through a couple of lines,
daddy,
but really just keeping your awareness on your body.
You a smart
This also has this amazing side effect of relaxing you. It also helps your voice become more resonant because by focusing your energy and your awareness in on your body, it can start dissolving and relaxing certain pent-up emotions or tension that you had, which allows your voice to come across much more resonantly. So the aim of this is to really feel no difference between pressing record and stopping record. What happens to so many people is they sort of have this tension that builds up more and more as they're talking, and then they'll press.
I will say though, that is a very real thing. It's like having the tension, like, oh, I'm about to go live, and then like hit record, and then you're like, so I breathed oxygen today, and then just lose all the personality. Now I'm more comfortable just being my crazy ass self. on camera, which, to be honest, this is much more comforting than doing this in front of people. Like, being me in front of people is very scary. Not for me, for them. And the reason why, people really be down like, nigga, there's no way you're this happy, or this lit, or this goofy, or this stupid. Like, it's impossible, bro. But it's really not, bro. Like, you just gotta understand, bro. I just don't say things like this in public because I know people lack the ability to critically think and be aware of who I am and have context of me as a human being. So they're gonna judge me in the most terrible way possible for me, which then makes it scary for them because they're going to be reacting out of fear, and me, I'm just don't give a damn, and I don't give a damn so much it's problematic. Well, let me not say that, because I'm not like YN not give a damn, you know what I mean? Like, there's a YN not give a damn where it's like, throw away your life, throw away the meaning, the purpose, the opportunity for a future you have for yourself. That's not the give a damn I'm in. I'm the not give a damn of I really could care less what you think about me. All I care about is, do you have the ability to harm things I love? If you do, unfortunately, I have to be very, very coy and just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, whatever. But if you don't have the authority and the capability to harm the things I love, nigga, I'm a free bird, bro. Free bear, if we're being honest. Well, can't really get that one off that well because that's not actually good advertising. It's just, yeah, that's not particularly great advertising. And if you know, you know. I'm not going to explain it if you don't know. If you don't know, I'm glad you don't. But if you do, it's the struggle I live with the brand I chose for myself, y'all. It just is what it is. Anyway, though, that's a very real thing. Like, just before you hit record and just having all this anxiety, like, ah, wee, wow, wow, wee, wow, wee, wow, woo. Like, I get it.
Press stop and be like, oh, like I'm done. Now I can be a normal person again. Sweet, I can relax. Like, that's the opposite of what we want. We want to be flowing throughout the setup, flowing through our lines, getting ready to record, press record, feeling the same. Ready to chat, ready to have a conversation. All right, we talk through our points, feel good whilst doing it, stop record. That's it, we feel the same. We might feel a bit of achievement, but there's no like, oh, now I can relax. All right, once you've released that recording pressure, you're feeling a little bit more relaxed. Next thing you got to do is focus on your emotional center. So I used to tell people, focus on your emotions. But what that meant was like 50% of people sort of checked out. And they're like, what do you mean focus on my emotions? You know, if I'm talking about real estate opportunities, like, am I going to be like really sad or vulnerable or something? I'm like, okay, there's a new way of saying this. There's a new way of actually feeling this, which is much more intuitive and kind of works for everyone, which is your emotional center. So it's focusing on where you feel emotions. So you could, by doing that body scan exercise, you can feel right now more or less where you might feel emotions, even if you're not feeling emotions. You're almost feeling into a potential for emotion. Now I have this personally, usually in my chest, but sometimes in my belly as well. And by focusing on this center whilst I talk, I always notice it gives me more authenticity. And the reason for this is because I'm connecting and expressing from my body. So when you completely cut that off, as most people do on camera especially, it looks like you're just presenting sort of with your face and with your hands. And so a lot of people start doing these hand gestures and try and grab people's attention and do this classic like, hey guys, kind of thing. And it just doesn't hit home for some reason. People just feel like something's off. But when you have a certain percentage of awareness in your body, so right now I'm talking to you guys, but like 30, 40, 50% of my awareness is actually in my emotional center. What that means is a couple of things. One, I have that slightly more authentic tone. And two, you completely get out of your own way.
Yes and no, and I say that as if I know, right? Like, nigga, who are you? But it's like, some niggas just are like this. Nigga. Some niggas are, bro. I know. Everyone wants to be nonchalant, which don't get me wrong. When I'm in public, I'm typically nonchalant because being chalant, niggas can't handle my chalantness, bro. You don't want to deal with chalant natty. Chalant natty is not the one you want. So, you go with nonchalant natty. Okay, that's a little bit of chant. There's a little bit of chant in that. Nonchalanting, chalanting, and then nonchalanting. Chalanting. So I don't know. It depends. It depends on who you are. It really does. But what I can say, if I were to focus on my emotional center, sometimes it's in my face. Sometimes it's in my stomach. Occasionally it be in my throat. Pause. And the main reason why, it's because, like, back when I used to do door-to-door sales, like, especially in the early times where I'm like, oh, I can't get my bitch up. Like, you know what I mean? I could feel my body just be like, nigga, what are we doing? This is dangerous. We should not be doing this. And there's just times where you just got a full send, bruh. Full send, my guy. Not always. But there are times you just got a full send and really just tap into that nigga. And when you do, it's kind of liberating. So, I get it. I get it. I like it. I like the advice. This is great. This is great.
So what I mean by this is you avoid this overthinking, right? You do the thinking before you make the video. You plan out what you're going to say. You go through your points a few times. You go through your intro a few times. You map.
That is what I should do. I don't be doing that a lot before I try and do the, like, even streams, right? Like, I know that kind of like what we're doing. Like, hey, we're gonna react to some YouTube videos, work on some music, and then call it a day, right? But alas,
how the points link together. But then once you've rehearsed and you've planned out and you've got that in your brain, then you just get out of your own way. And by connecting with your emotional center here, connecting with your body, your words are just going to be flowing. This is what a flow state feels like. Is being present and connected with the camera and with what you say, rather than being up in your head thinking about every single sentence that you're going to say next. This helps build that congruency that we're looking for between our body, how we feel, our thoughts, and our words. Because we don't actually have too many thoughts whilst we're talking. No, our thoughts just are our words, and you're expressing yourself from your body. Step number 3 is whilst you're talking, maybe it's making a practice video, maybe it's in the actual video, you've got to try and attune to that feeling of feeling good whilst you're talking. So right now, it feels quite good as the words come out of my mouth. There's something, it feels connected, it feels present. That's the feeling you've got to look for. Now, if you're super far away from that feeling, you've got to try steps 1 and 2. By really taking a moment to relax your nervous system, connect with your body, it's going to help with this a lot. But then once you're there, once you've really settled a bit, just make a few videos where you're really practicing, you're really looking for that feeling of, yeah, this feels pretty good when I talk. Now you might be asking the question, okay, Thomas, I could maybe feel good when I talk, but I'm just going to be rambling, going down rabbit holes. Like, don't you really need to like focus to figure out what you're going to say next and figure out how the points are going to perfectly land? The solution is 2 things. One is know your plan, as I said. It's having that plan that not only teaches effectively, but also is persuasive. You know, it guides your prospects through a buyer's journey. It might mention info about how you can help them if they choose to work with you. You might send them to another video. You might send them to a lead magnet. And the information that you present and teach should ideally funnel them down that road. But along with having that plan, it's just practice. I mean, if you've only ever scripted videos and read them out to the camera, memorizing line by line or using a teleprompter, this process will feel a little bit alien when you get started. But make a few practice videos. If you'd like support in your journey, you can check out the Natural Speaking System. Currently we're sold out, but there is a waiting list in the description below. And also I've got a free PDF that's a talk to camera cheat sheet that will give you some impactful reminders that you can print out, stick on your wall to help you next time you're talking to camera.
That's cool.
Now, you also need to know that there's 5 really bad mistakes that people often make when talking to camera that completely kill viewer trust. If you want to know what those are, click here.
I see a smile which seems to tell me you want my hat. You think my happiness is inauthentic. Well, I got a joke for you. I'm never happy, so it's always inauthentic. All right. Anyway, pretty cool video. Pretty cool video. Digs the vibes. Digs the vibes. We're gonna end with this streaming just got so easy. So we got a drawing one. How to draw without guidelines. Disciplined drawing. Okay, cool. Let's see what the vibes is.
This is how you go from drawing scribbly guidelines like this to drawing with clean, confident lines with no guidelines like this in just a few practice sessions following just one rule. Kim Jong-gi, the strongest drawer in history, was known for his ability to seemingly draw everything without.
That was pretty dope. That's pretty dope. One of the greatest of all time, by the way. One of my influences, but the reference is pretty dope.
Guidelines. For years, people have tried to figure out his secret. Even people with decades of practice still couldn't come close to his level of skill. But what if I told you that the same way you learn to write your ABCs is the same exact way you can learn how to draw like Kim Jong-gi, with just one single change in how you copy references? And I call that change following the one-stroke doctrine. The one-stroke doctrine, or why shortened to calling the OSD technique, is a core principle of discipline drawing, a whole methodology I developed to build speed and confidence in drawing without guidelines. The rule is simple. Every contour you copy from references, you must attempt to draw it in a single stroke. Sounds impossible, right? But you've actually already done this before when you first learned to write the alphabet letters. Think about it. You were shown a shape, you were told to copy in one stroke, and if your letters didn't look right, you had to repeatedly retry over and over drawing the same letter until you were able to write that letter correctly in one stroke. Otherwise, you would have failed elementary school. At first, it was so painful as kids.
I feel that.
But now, assuming you are a grade higher than kindergarten or you're in high school, you can write the alphabet and whole words in seconds without even thinking. That automatic flow is the same exact flow Kim Jong-gi developed for drawing. In short, if you can learn to write letters automatically, you can learn to draw automatically using the one-stroke doctrine. But how does drawing in single strokes build muscle memory? You see, muscle memory only forms in the brain when bodily emotions are consistent, repeatable, and there's corrective feedback. Those three things are all that you need to build muscle memory. The one-stroke doctrine forces all three in your drawing processes. Drawing in one clean contour forces you to draw the same motion each time, which makes your drawings more consistent, which makes them more repeatable, and mistakes appear more instantly and more obvious because you force yourself to draw references in single lines. Here's the uncomfortable truth. 99% of artists can't draw like Kim Jong-gi because 99% of artists don't train like Kim Jong-gi. The vast majority of artists practice drawing with layered pre-sketches and guidelines, which causes variable motions that are more inconsistent, non-repeatable, and errors are much more harder to identify. To make this clear, answer this. Look at the differences between the two images. One image is drawn with common guidelines application and the other is drawn following the one-stroke doctrine. The image drawn following the one-stroke doctrine has some mistakes, but they're much obvious to identify and you can see exactly when and where the drawing went wrong. The image drawn with guideline steps makes it much more difficult to identify when and where exactly a mistake occurred. An error could have occurred in any step. Was it the type of guidelines I used in step 1? Was it my interpretation of the guidelines that was wrong and how I started drawing over them? Or was it the final lines I drew on top of everything to refine the image? The difference in error feedback is made clear. Practicing with guidelines scatters and blurs mistakes across the entire drawing process. The one-stroke doctrine isolates them. But did Kim Jong-gi actually learn to draw without guidelines by practicing in single strokes? Here's where it gets crazy. Nearly 5 years ago, in a Proco interview with over 5 million views, he said it plainly in public eye. At around the 15-minute mark, he says, and I paraphrase here, quote, "This is basically how I developed my art style. The key is you have to first visualize what you want to draw and try to jot it down with one stroke."
Interesting.
More than 5 million views, and somehow nobody caught this one line. For 5 years, the answer was sitting in the public eye, and no one realized that Kim Jong-gi had laid out the secret sauce. Let me show you an example. Let's say I wanted to learn how to draw this closed hand fist, correct? Typically, most artists start learning to draw it by starting with the basic shape, drawing the guidelines out, slowly and gradually drawing the features, but like I explained before, most of my information is much weaker here. If I keep learning to draw with guidelines, I could become forever reliant on drawing with them, because muscle memory is much more harder to form under these conditions. My hand motions aren't consistent, non-repeatable, and errors are much more difficult to identify and correct. Now I'm going to attempt to learn to draw the same exact hand without any guidelines. First, I draw it with a reference, following the one-stroke doctrine. If I mess up, I correct immediately with another single stroke. I repeat this process of attempting to draw the hand in single strokes and correcting errors, until I end up with a satisfied drawing. Notice it takes me quite a bit as I repeatedly mess up. That's part of the process, through constant error identification and contour refinement. I synchronize and fine-tune my hand-eye coordination strictly, the same exact way we learn to write letters. After I fully refine my motions and I'm satisfied with how I drew the hand from reference, I then continue to attempt to draw without any reference with the same rules. One contour, one stroke. If I mess up, I retry again, trying to draw it in another clean stroke. That right there is how I got to draw this single hand pose with confident and clean lines and no guidelines usage, following the one-stroke doctrine. No reference, but just strategic reliance on developed muscle memory. Now, there is in fact a lot more going on here that I can't explain, but it may extend this video beyond what I'm trying to focus on here. But anyways, all the theory and all the concepts I am applying here in this short demo is already explained fully in the Discipline Drawing book. I wrote this book in hopes of helping artists to learn how to draw with more confidence and speed in their line art, which is something I think a lot of artists struggle with learning and doing. And I believe that if the bottleneck of artists being slow and not confident in producing line art could be solved, then artists can learn art much faster and easier, which I think can bring a lot of motivation out for young artists who may be discouraged by the speed difference between generative AI. If we can make faster line art, grow more confidence, and speed on our own drawings, then we can produce and draft ideas much faster and make drawing fun for everyone. If you want to get a head start into the whole theory and actually understand more as to what I'm doing here, besides following the one-stroke doctrine, I'm actually giving away the whole book out for free on my Discord. You can download it completely free, and you don't have to do anything. I will be explaining more of discipline drawing concepts in future videos, and if you like this video, stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching this video, and peace out.
Honestly, pretty dope video, bruv. 600 subscribers, I'll subscribe to you and like, because that's a pretty solid breakdown for what would otherwise have been a pretty straightforward video. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Let's see here. All right. So we got one more YouTube video, and then we're going to lock in on some music stuff, which, before we lock in on the music stuff, hold up. I'm going to change the screen here just because I don't want to just give away the school community. Because I'm about to log in on my school community, which is technically a private school community. So I can't just be showing this shit, you know? Alright, let's see here. Okay, we're gonna open that a new tab. open that in new tab. Okay. Awesome. And let's see if there's anything else. I just realized I got a new member of the community. That's pretty dope. Okay, cool. I got the reference here. Because I'm preparing the references right now just because it's like, we're going to listen to them, and after we listen to them, we're just going to make some cues. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, dog? And then, okay, let's see here. Okay, brother man. We're gonna go to YouTube as well again. Alright, cool. Alright. Let's see if there's anything else here. Worth looking at that later. Okay. Alright, we got all the references we need. Ski. Alright. Alright. Now let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. My dog, my dude, my guy, bro. Alright, bro. Alright, alright. Alright. Streaming just got so easy. Meld Studio Complete tutorial. Let's see what the vibe is.
Hello everybody. A few months ago I posted a video on the streaming software called Meld Studio.
I got to be outside. We're going to do some recording while I finish up my yard work and see if the new auto-tune vocal prep can help us to prep these vocals so that they actually fit for mixing, man.
Lipstick and eyelashes, bust down lace and sunglasses, blush on my cheeks, got my nails long, but I still love me when it all comes off.
All right, man, so now I am back in the studio and I'm going to just drag and drop real easily this lead vocal right into auto-tune vocal prep, and it's automatically just gonna start cleaning up the audio. Boom, so just like that, in just a few seconds the audio has been cleaned up. Let's actually listen to the original.
Lipstick and eyelashes,
you can hear me doing my yard work.
My cheeks, got my nails long, but I still love me when it all comes off.
Let's listen to the prep vocal.
Lipstick and eyelashes, bust down lace and sunglasses, blush on my cheeks, got my nails long.
That's pretty dope, and as you can see, it targeted the sound of my shears really well. It's really that simple, y'all. You can record wherever you need to record and literally drag and drop into the auto-tune vocal.
I like that. I actually like that. Auto-tune might get me back because I was been pissed off with him for a while.
It is an alternative to OBS, and it was designed by the team to make it as easy as possible to go live with a beautiful stream. Now, what made this an interesting video is when I first started diving into Meld, I didn't understand why anyone would use it. OBS is the standard, and OBS is free. Why would someone switch to anything else? And then, as I started using Meld, I got so excited about it, apparently too excited, because some of you took my excessive positivity about the software as me being sponsored to talk about it, even though I specifically said I wasn't. We will talk about that in a minute. I want to get into this video, but if some of you are still confused about why you should use Meld instead of OBS, I will link to that video down below. It talks about my favorite things I discovered about Meld and the basics of how it works. Link, of course, in the description. And if you clicked on that and you watched it and you're coming back and you're excited about Meld, well, happy to have you back. You should know that since that video is posted, the Meld dev team has already added a handful of new features, including a new vertical canvas layout for all of you that want to either stream to TikTok while you're going live or record TikToks while you're live on Twitch and YouTube. That was a really fun update. I actually helped Meld brainstorm the implementation of how Meld should do vertical. We'll get into that later too. Let's get moving on this streamer masterclass. This video is for people that just want to make a beautiful stream and don't want to have to learn any complicated software. And if you're a little bit overwhelmed by the sight of Meld, because it does look different than OBS, don't worry. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to hold your hand. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to go live using Meld with a beautiful and a unique stream of your own, and you're also going to look beautiful doing it. Probably. Let's get into it.
I love it.
I do, however, want to mention the actual sponsor of today's video, your one-stop shop for all your stream widget needs, Owned.pro. Owned.pro has been hard at work developing a plethora of stream widgets for you to put in your stream so you can have a beautiful but minimal look that all the professionals have. I use about 4 of them on my stream right now, including the music widget, the combined chat overlay widget, the rotating label widget, and the hypo meter, which is like their subtrain widget. There will be a link in the description down below if you want to add some of those widgets to your stream. So go check it out. Most of them are free. Enjoy them.
I will say for my stream, the ones that I use, because I obviously only use the free version because your niggas broke, is what it is. We'll get our money up soon enough. I believe it's the pure template, like for like my starting, be right back, and all that stuff. I just use the template for that, and then I use my own like images, like the overlay and the logo type, and then I just kind of keep it that simple. Really, it's nothing too crazy. Even the background of the stream, like the bear overlay, made that myself. Pretty straightforward. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy.
Let's get back to Meld Studio. First thing we're going to do is we're going to install Meld. meldstudio.co. Download. One of the things you'll notice that's different between OBS and Meld is that Meld's updates are frequent and just automatic. It's like an app on your phone updating in the background. They go through an extensive testing, alpha and beta process, and so it's working by the time it gets to your computer, and Meld just always works and always has the new stuff. Really nice, I like that. The first thing it'll ask you when it pops up is to give access to your camera if you would.
Also too, shout out to Johnny Castle for sending me this video. Mentor, friend, Brody, like just everything. Love you, Johnny.
Like a headache? Click no, otherwise click yes. It's gonna share with you a couple quick and easy features. Feel free to read through those if you want. Otherwise, I'm going to go through most of them in this video. We're going to click multi-canvas because we want to do horizontal and vertical at the same time. Now, let's take the first couple seconds and look at the UI here and see where everything is. Obviously, we have our canvas in the middle. This is our main canvas that once we populate it with our overlays and our gameplay and our camera, that's going to be sent to Twitch and YouTube. Over here, we have our vertical canvas. This can be used to either stream vertically to YouTube or TikTok and eventually Twitch, or it can be used to record vertical clips for you to cut down and edit and upload to vertical platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, later. Or do both. We live in a world where you should be doing both. It's a lot, but I don't make the rules. On the left side, we have 2 panels for your layers and your scenes. If you're familiar with OBS, layers are what they call sources in here. It's a little bit more in line with most creative software like Photoshop.
I'm not gonna lie, blanked out. Let's run that back.
Everything is. Obviously, we have our canvas in the middle. This is our main canvas that once we populate it with our overlays and our gameplay and our camera, that's gonna be sent to Twitch and YouTube. Over here, we have our vertical canvas. This can be used to either stream vertically to YouTube or TikTok and eventually Twitch, or it can be used to record vertical clips for you to cut down and edit and upload to vertical platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, later. Or do both.
All right, cool. So real quick, we're going to download this just to kind of, because I'm not going to lie, if I just, what's it called? If I just watch this, it's not going to do me much good. So we have to also kind of get our hands dirty a little bit. Dude, is it me or has Google search gotten like extremely shitty? Yeah, like, why is this all the way down here? Why is all this other shit up here? Like, this is the thing I'm looking for. This should be the first thing that shows up. Google, get your act together, bro. What the heck, bro? Alright, anyway. Downloads. Alright. Let's install this dude. Alright, Mount Studio. Adding it to applications. Da, 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 da. Yo Pamelo, yo Pamelo, yo Pamelo, yo Pamelo, yo Pamelo. Interesting. I just came across a very interesting post here. Da-da-da. Let's see here. Alright. Ain't nobody fucking like a broke mother. Alright. Cool. Now the thing is downloaded. Let's open Melt Studio. We're gonna get like a dry look at it. Which, I mean, I might as well. I guess I should technically create a screen for it, no? I mean, I should, just so y'all could see kind of like what's going on here. Let's see, maybe this guy perhaps. Let's see. Open. We're gonna delete this. Delete that guy. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, allow it to have access to the microphone. Why not? Built-in move transitions. That's pretty cool. All-in-one display capture. Capture any screen, game, or app window within a single layer. Effects presets. That's cool. Smart corner radius. Round corners. Options. That's cool. Nice. Virtual camera. Live stream to multiple platforms. cool. Okay, hold on. Let me try and make it so where you can just kind of see this, because that's Ableton Live 11. And then I'm gonna put this up here, but with 10, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just have it be Meld Studio, and then we're gonna mute this guy. Okay, cool. Just so you guys can see kind of what I'm seeing so far. All right, so this is what we're seeing so far. Live stream for multiple platforms. Virtual cameras, smart corner radiance, effects presets, built-in. Okay, cool. Vibes. Monitor audio. Real-time audio monitoring using the Q button on tracks. Capture multiple audio sources. Twitch VOD track. Manage the Twitch VOD track exclusion, either live or offline. Kind of don't know what that means. Up to 32 input channels. Audio effects. That's nice. So that means I could probably run auto-tune on this hoe. And then per scene audio, customize volume and mute with unlinking and tailor your audio to each scene. Pick your preferred canvas setup. Definitely going to do multi-canvas. Welcome to vertical canvas. Now you have both main and vertical canvases per scene, making it easy to create content in any format. Add custom layers, copy from your main canvas, choose a template, or reuse vertical layouts across scenes, all with simple setup. Gaming and chat, more so gaming, right? So display capture, so video capture, we're always going to do the Razer Keo, allow. Dope. And then display capture, I mean, I guess it would technically be Meld Studio. Open system settings. Then let me, boom. And then green. Sure, quit and reopen. Why not? Quit and reopen. Which we're also going to allow that as well. Anyway. Awesome. All right. Wow. That's cool. Okay. Pretty sick. Okay. Black and white. I like that a lot. All right, so for track, right? So audio mixer. Let's add up to like these tracks, right? So this guy is going to be Mike, and we'll name this as main mic, and then we're gonna put this guy as desktop audio, right? Desktop audio, right? And then here we're gonna make this the DAW audio. So DAW audio. And select device. This would be gaming audio. Gaming audio, which, just to open up loop back real quick. Da da da. Ha 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 ha. Sure, install update, why not? Ain't nobody fucking like a bro motherfucker. Sorry. That boy Bogus got me tripping. That boy Bogus got me tripping. Update. Okay, cool. That's fine. All right, just quit for the time being. But we got desktop audio, we got gaming audio, and then we got the Discord chat. Discord chat. Let's see. So we got mic, we got desktop, we got DAW, we got gaming audio, we got Discord chat. I can't perceive of any other audio source at the current moment. All right. And so now then, as far as scenes, we'll have our main scenes here, which we have main streaming scene, which is one, right? And then we have just chatting scene, which just so we know what this boy looks like. Copy, paste, except this one, we're going to do more of a, the source would be, kind of the same thing, honestly. We're being honest, just chatting scene. And then, okay, so we're going to have a starting soon scene. Soon. Ending. Be right back. And then content creation. Cool. And then we'll mute here. And then let me see if I can. Yo, can I cue that? Cue. Oh, so that's what I kind of sound. Okay, so there's like, that's what I sound like. Okay, that's actually, wow. I love that. Let's see. Can we do a, what's Magic Mic? What does that mean? Oh, automatic gain control. I don't like that. Let's just delete that. Gain. So let's try and like do that, right? Let's do like 200 or so. It's like -8. Awesome. What does that sound like? What does that sound like? Okay. I'm not mad at that at all. That's actually, yo, you know what? That, shit, nigga. That's actually kind of crazy. I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of crazy. Content creation. We'll probably still do a paste right here, though, for content creation's sake. Change it a little bit, though, right? Okay. So now that we kind of got that figured out, like quite a bit. Pretty nice. Now, main scene here. Layer, right? So we're going to put an image layer here. It's going to be something that's probably... Hold up. Allow, dude. If I go to OBS and go to image... properties. So it's in documents. Okay, cool. So that means I gotta go to documents then. If I go to documents, I love how instead of just watching the video, we just kind of just went to go do. It's very me coded, to be honest with you. Like, I'm not just, we could sit through the video, and we are, ironically enough, we're gonna go back to the video. We are gonna go back to the video. It's not like we're not. We definitely are. It's just, I'm gonna do that. Boom. Okay, see that? And then we're gonna use that to fit to canvas. Boom. Look at that. We're just gonna lock that. And that's gonna be something we copy to each thing. That's the consistency we got here, y'all. That's the consistency. That's the consistency we got on our content, my dog, my dude, my bro. right, so that's always going to be at the base, right? Now for the starting soon. Because I'm an idiot, yeah. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's try this again, bro. Not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. That guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. That's Ableton 10, though. We don't care about Ableton 10. We want this nigga, bro. We want this nigga. Okay, cool. Alright, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of falling in love with this already. Sort of need to fix this, though. Did not know this was a thing. I'm curious how I could, like... Because that's like content creation, right? Boom. Be right back. Ending. Starting soon. For now, we're going to lock it, but I mean... There's definitely a way to, Yeah, I probably just got to go back to the link that I made for the owned whatever the freak and redo it. But it's there. So that's cool. So let's just do that for end. Back to streaming, back to streaming. Alright, and then insert browser. Bro, this thing is amazing, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Meld. You might be the one for me, dude. You might be the one for me, dude. 1920. Boom. Lockdown. And then for Be Right Back, we got to do it for Be Right Back as well. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm like literally forgetting about y'all niggas because I'm just so I'm like kind of having fun here setting this up. Schmierge, bye bye Schmierge, bye bye Schmierge, bye bye Schmierge. My dude. Alright, so now we're gonna add video device. We're gonna do Razor Kyo, but check it out though. We're gonna only do this dude. And so we'll do like top corner. So like, let's say for instance we do this like top right corner cam. Right, that's like top corner. But then also too, if you duplicate that boy, we'll technically have this guy as well, which I sort of have kind of right here, if you will. Somewhere around here. We'll test the newer ones for ski. I'm around this a little bit. Boom. That look. Oh, love that. Rounded corners, man. Rounded corners. We love rounded corners here, dude. Come on, rounded corners. How can you be mad at rounded corners? I'm rounded. Alright. That's like the two little view you got right there. So top right corner half, and then we have gaming corner count. So I'm going to corner stuff here. The top right, which music/react cam. Music/react 10, gaming corner cam. There's that. One is on depending on what is important, right? So in this case, you gaming stuff, right? It's cool. Sick. With the case be, then let's add a display capture, right? Then we'll select source, which on average, this could be window, right? What kind of window? Not just any window. Hold up. There. Do you care? How I do it means image, view source, display capture. Full screen capture, sidecar, mostly elements, better display. Okay, so I click window. What does window mean? Because like, say for instance, I have it live out now. What does that mean? Does that mean I capture what's live? Oh, hell yeah, it does. Hell freak yeah, it does. Okay. I'm gonna let that up. And if we're doing music stuff, this guy goes to the right corner. We'll see it, love to see it. Okay, and then hold on, I'm gonna do that. Let me kind of do it right here. Boom. Boomski. 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 And go backwards. Oh, it's so intuitive. Ableton 5. 11. Locked in. So when we get to 11, that's what the title would be. Cool. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah, all in all, I mean, I already did just that. And then let's see here. Another display capture. Let's see. But not that one. Mail Studio, no. Flash sheet. We'll play it. Come on. Let's do Extendo. Extendo, best friendo. Yeah, there it is. There it is, dude. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna name it Google Chrome. Locked in. So now we're gonna have nothing. Google Chrome on there. Let's go to chatty scene. Let's go to join in. And then, you know, I'll say I'm done with that key. Right? Start in. Pretty soon. Be right back. Oh, thanks, bro. And over here, it's kind of same situation. So let's say we're looking, right? Over here, starting soon. We're literally gonna copy these tiers, right? We'll copy the place. And since I'm starting soon green, we're gonna go paste. Boom. Right. I got them. So, the wallpaper. Hold up. Cancel, bro. Cancel. Okay. So, we're gonna log in, right? So, let's see this guy. So, right here, we're going to have it match like 1080 to like 19. Okay, so not lock that open. Then like 1080. Alright. Okay. That'll take a little second. Let's put the case out. Cool. Oh, that's router. And we'll do that this guy, right? So 1080 and then 1920. Boom, right? And 50 again. And then stretch or fill. Alright. Disappointed, boss. Cool. Okay, starting. I'm gonna totally do that. 1920 and 1080. Right? And instead of stretching, fit, right? And then we'll just do starting like right here situation. Oh, Johnny! Johnny! We're go. Who doesn't get boxes, man? Who doesn't? No, that's not at all, bro. Okay, then. So what we do with this probably is the game, but sorry, I'm right now. Okay, we might like to make music this stream, you know, like genuinely, like low key next stream, we'll probably move over to this guy. Bitch, oh yes, chat on a bitch, oh yes, makes this guy not a lot. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm looking at this a lot. Actually, it takes this down now. Alright, so now I know this stuff is super possible as far as multi-streaming is concerned. I mean, let's do this. The best screen, what I'll probably do is like do something like this, and then have this, I'll probably just do this in general, because just delay, and then image, which I go to documents, go here, just go and download that for future reference. But yeah, open that. Which I'm curious, what if I just rotate it a bit? You know what I mean? It's not ideal per se. And just as well. So like that. Do that. Rounds, because we like round corners, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I could just put it there and probably have like the ThaniaBear logo on top. You know, like ThaniaBear here. Oh, the aesthetics are so lit, nigga. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Early am. This is fire. This is dope. This is incredibly dope. So, yeah, right here. Just boom, copy, shift, copy. Then I'll probably just do shift, delete, paste. And then I'll just from here have like main view whatever. And just man, there's so many little like things to be done here. Like I don't get it. How did you find this shit, bro? I don't know how that does. It's amazing. Cool. Starting, ending. Starting, copy, right? Here, paste there, drag back, paste there. Concentration, I'm going to paste that level all the way back. Lock that, and then we can mute that for a time. Sure, content creation sake, good. And for ending, you just copy that. Go here, paste it. Keep, and then just go here, copy that. Paste it. Fire. What are we even talking about right now? This is insanity. Now, I'm not gonna lie, though. I am gonna trip if I can't save this, though. So let's see. We'll go settings, advanced. Yeah, transition. You know, keep it easier names. You have some chat. I don't know yet. Plugins, multi stream settings, canvas 80. For the being. So Twitch, of course. It's gonna be one of our main ones, right? Channel. Dope, bro. Dude, that is insane. Already like that, insanity. And then recording output, clipping out. That's what it's got. It'll probably be like, you know, here and into like miscellaneous, and then right. You can do that as a price. You're gonna go. Yeah, the mob, though I've heard MKV is best. Let's do this. Okay. That's recording output, right? But then clipping output, like clipping 90 seconds. I'll probably do 120 seconds. With people in general, you know what I mean? Probably 120. And then in general, I go to miscellaneous. And then another like blur. And then screenshot, yeah, pictures. Then I add output to YouTube. And then maybe stuff like that. Here's edit what I. Remember what can't use though. Become multis. Main can switch. Maybe the way the work is. And then wait, probably to take out to figure out custom with that. Get other rate 1 to 2 kps. Oh man. Oh my goodness, look at here. Okay. It's amazing. What a freaking idiot. It's awesome. This is you guys in this. I love recording around supremacy. How did core supremacy? We already have all this. This is amazing, dude. What? This is so fire, bro. What is this? Why is this real? It's here. There's no. I'm just perplexed. I'm really perplexed. Wow. Insane, bro. And now it's insane, bro. No studio. Okay, I'll tell you guys. So let's see. File. Save. Save. And that means, please. That's me what to do. Oh, this is insane. That's like you're Man. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I know I said we were gonna make music. I know we said we're gonna make music tonight. We're not going to. I'm a little bit burnt out. I really am. I'm burnt out. And I think it's just because the past just day or two, I've just been stressed and just thinking about too much shit. But we are going to make music tomorrow night, no questions asked, and we're going to tackle some brief work, and not just any brief work. It's for a specific TV show, and we're going to be making what are called instrumental cues. Now, hold on. Let me change the screen here real quick. Gonna delete not delete, but don't save. Just exit out of Ableton. Wow. Low-key, I'm going to watch the rest of this video off stream because, you know, I think it's actually going to require me to really lock in. But, this past weekend kind of really just threw me off. Not gonna lie, as far as just the stuff that I wanted to do and work on. But needless to say, a little bit thrown off my routine, but not so much off my routine that we can't get back on it. And more than ever, I'm getting a lot of clarity on just the things I want to do and need to get it done, which I've already known, to be quite honest with you, is just